go. Alright, I've been reading the comments on the last video and you guys want more of the actionable advice. So we're gonna give you 5 tips that were critical in my journey of building the brand from 0 to 8 million. So I've got a pretty packed next couple of days, but you guys will come along with me and we'll kind of just run through them on the go.
I want my cash back, let's get out of my way. It's not so easy go, I need a break. I want my money, get my money up, hop on the plane.
I feel like the brand you guys have is like perfect for UGC. The camo shorts could be, I think.
If you just go through our site and send me a list of like the products that you can commit to.
I think that's a good idea.
Sweet. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do, so like action steps. If you go through and just send me a list of confirmation, I can 100% do bush camo shorts, shirts, any other products. You're happy with 5 to 10 pieces. Let me know what that looks like in terms of a retainer that you're happy with.
Yeah.
I'll look over it, tick the box, and away we go.
Okay, cool.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Easy. All right, Cooper, I appreciate it, bro. I'll chat to you soon.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, bro. Peace. Let's do it. So yeah, the call this morning was with Cooper, one of our creators that is based in the US. We've been working with him for a couple months now and he's been amazing. And today's call was to actually work on a retainer for him. Meta now looks at your content as the targeting. So if you have all your content that looks exactly the same, it's gonna cause you some problems. So the great thing about working with creators is you get new wardrobes, new locations, new perspectives, new angles, and all those things make a massive difference in your Meta account. It's really cool to work with creators internationally as well, because they, you know, there's obviously massive cultural overlap with the US, but you know, they say things differently. Like they don't call it a button up, they call it a button down. They style things differently. It's cool. So yeah, that's been really good. Building out our creator program is massive for 2026.
Line you up, phone you up.
By show of hands, how many people are here for like networking? Yeah, like everyone. Right?
Perk it up, they perk me up.
You're going over to, Simon Beard, you're hanging out with Dave Folligan.
And just FYI, they're not my best buddies. It's not like Simon Beard messages me, guys. It just doesn't work that way. I was with Sean Lilo, and he came to Brisbane. We were at a charity, and he said, "Oh, cool. Next time there is something, I will invite you." And that's how I. Yeah.
Put me on the west coast like the hood to Dre. Let her bring my nephew phone like my and she stayed down.
What I have realized is Meta is very good at reallocating spend when it needs to now. Here he is. Ready to cruise, Danny?
Ready, bro. Like I'm probably like 7 months in, but it's fucking, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's hard to stomach, but it's just the reality of it. One thing Nav didn't mention, I was gonna jump in and like call out where they were talking about like what are the inputs and like these big growth things. And one thing people don't really talk about is the compounding nature of things.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no different to property and investing. It's like you're never going to see results in 7 months.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But stack 7 months on top and on top and on top,
yeah,
and it just runs up. It's a massive thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
Finding out where to delegate my time and when to like, who should I bring on to, especially like marketing side of things, man.
Yeah.
It's hard. So many people like promise so many things.
Is it just you?
Yeah. Like so many people promise so many things, but it's like who do I work with who can actually help without just promising like things.
Yeah. My advice there is like, is it like ads, like paid?
Ads, content as well too.
Yeah.
Just
like you want to try and do all of that stuff yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to outsource it, especially content organic. You've got to do it yourself.
Yeah, true.
It's one thing you can't outsource.
True, very true.
Right?
Very
it's like
true.
you can outsource help.
Yeah, true.
But you can't definitely never work with an agency that's going to be, it's hands off.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're going to do all the content.
I'm against that as well. I'm definitely against that. But
yeah. Don't try not to get into the mindset of like, Meta ads are going to fix your problems. It's not the case. You've got to focus all organic first. Yeah. And if you become a beast at making organic content, you will be good at ads later. Just don't, like too many guys are just like, oh, I started the brand, I'm 3 months in, but ads aren't working. No shit, who told you that? It's like when I started running ads properly, I had a safety net there to spend. Like I had a budget to spend.
Yeah.
From the start, you need to be reinvesting everything back into product.
It's very true. Yeah.
Otherwise, you get to the point where it's like, oh, an ad worked for a day and then we sold out.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I'd love to pick your brain a bit more one day.
Yeah, 100%. Just DM me, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
happy to
Appreciate
help.
that. Alright, thanks,
Nice,
guys.
bro. Good on you, bro.
Yeah, easy. Enjoy your day.
All right, so point number one, the biggest thing is community and networking. Now, there's like a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot of like social media content about it, and there's like community is a massive buzzword, but we need to strip it back. Like, I think the best way to look at it is in two parts, like brand and then founder community. So founder community is exactly what happened this morning. Like in our city, there was a networking event. We pulled up, we got to network with other founders and other brand owners, and you're gonna get a mix of like guys that have been in the game for 5 and 10 years and guys that haven't even started yet. And I think the action point here is for the new guy that's yet to start, you have to pull up at that event, but you've got to understand that you're probably not going to be able to extract a whole lot of information from the guy that's 5 years ahead of you. But being able to show face at that event multiple times will compound. And a year down the track, the guy that you met at the first event may be able to open up to you and give you some game. So something that you'll find is the bigger your network get, they end up doing networking for you and they'll introduce you to other people. Sean introduced me to Nav, and funny story how I actually met Sean was through another mate. And it was his 21st birthday at the time. I knew no one at this event, and me and Sean struck up a conversation, made the connection, and then we've been doing business together side by side for the next 5-6 years after that point.
5 to 6 years now.
Sean introduces me to Nav, and probably in that circle of 3, we've probably introduced like Danny, who's filming and recording right now, is also part of that network. So it just grows and grows and grows, and you get introduced to more and more people that can help you. But the critical thing is, do not expect like the help or the key takeaway from day one when doing founder networking. The person that you meet in year 1 may not have any impact on you or your brand or business until year 2, 3, 4, or beyond. It's something you have to nurture outside of the first meeting.
What I quickly found is it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, it's often quite like full circle.
Yeah.
And often you're going to feed off of each other, and things that I may know I can feed on to Ryan and vice versa, and that's been such a helpful dynamic. And I've found that so often, even say with someone like Nav, who's been through 10, 15 years of business, made all the mistakes in the books, and he can kind of come at it with experience. But from my side, giving him knowledge on just like how we're operating, because say 10 to 15 years ago, you're building a business in a certain way, which might have like really high operating costs, big teams, all those kind of things. Whereas say for Ryan and I, we've been sort of resourceful with how we've built our brands, keeping the team small, keeping our overheads like really minimal, and ensuring that we're quite profitable from day one. So yeah, there's so much to take away from that, and I think that Nav can probably learn a lot from us too, and we can learn so much from him, even from his perspective of like property and finance, him having a bit of an accounting background. That's something that I have no idea about, and I don't really want to ever be an expert in that, but it's so good to be able to lean on someone like Nav for that expertise and kind of see how he's structured his business, how he's doing his taxes and all those kind of things. I think that's extremely valuable to have those people in your circle.
The other side of the community and network is brand side, like the internal stuff. So you got to look in your brand and understand what's the community and what's the group of people that you are serving, like who are you speaking to. I think the easiest example in the brand world these days is anyone in the fitness or active space. Like it's the perfect alignment, you are speaking to that gym person, but do not like keep it at surface level. It has to go deeper than that. Sean can probably touch on this in a minute and how he's done it in Lilo, going really niche into the Pilates community. So yeah, depending on what your brand is and where it sits, obviously depends on what your community is and who you speak to. A brand like Privacy, where it's a little bit more, if you zoom out, it's a little bit more broad. And because we do basics, a lot more can fit into that. Now, this is probably an area that we can polish up and do a lot better with, and you will see that over the coming months with what we're doing. But you may have more than one community, and that's okay. You just have to understand and figure out what that is.
Yeah, for sure. So I think community is a massive pillar of Lilo and our success, and what we've built over the probably last 4 years is where we really started to build on the community stuff. So as Ryan touched on, like we're really well known for the Pilates niche, and it's something that Beth and I spotted that it was on the come up. Pilates studios were kind of popping up on every corner, and we knew that Lilo needed to be seen as something within the activewear space, not just like for everyone. So we kind of leaned into that, and we wanted to show off that community. So we started to host different events, collaborate with different studios. Got a lot of ambassadors that are Pilates instructors or they own Pilates studios. And I think that that's been such a valuable part of like growing our brand, is showing up for those people. They support us, we support them, and it's kind of a two-way street, which is really nice. And it builds so much trust as well. I think that when people see the product out in the community, because you know our brands are so heavily direct consumer online, but to go into real life and have those events and see so many amazing people wearing our products, it builds that trust, and that carries over to obviously sales. It makes marketing a hell of a lot more efficient as well. When you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on paid ads, you need that trust factor, I believe, to get the conversion across the line. And I think that that's what probably a lot of people that are early into building a brand forget, that you know when you start running these ads, that there's a lot of little moving parts that play into the result that you get. Of course, you can get away with having no community and just kind of drop shipping straight out of China and make a bit of money. But if you want to see really efficient CPAs and to build a brand that's going to survive the test of time, you need to be building on community, showing face, and showing support for, you know, that whatever niche you're in.
Yeah, 100%. I think the other big pitfall here is a lot of people just want to start and then just go straight into the paid side. Sean touched on it before. They have to work side by side, and the biggest advice is if you're starting and can't master the organic sale, you're never going to master the paid sale. So like if you're inactive, pull up to the gym and build that community. The organic sales will eventually come from that. Once you've got that, build the paid side into it. Do not start paid before the organic.
We learned that, didn't we, by going to kind of Fashion Thrift Society, right?
Yeah, and that was going to be my example. Where it's like, it's really easy to give an activewear example, but in my case, okay, we're selling basics. Well, when you're starting, what community can you attach to if you don't want to just over leverage on one thing, right? So you don't want to over leverage on like music or nightlife. You don't want to over leverage on active or anything else. What we did is we went to an event called Fashion Thrift Society. So it's essentially, I think there's got to be something of its kind everywhere in the world, where there's a bunch of vendors. They could be influencers selling product that they don't wear or don't use, brands, and anyone in between. And we used to pull up there and meet the local community, meet the people that were there thrifting or just on a day out, right? And we would speak to them, string up a conversation, tell them about the brand, tell them what we're building, and at the end of the 15-minute conversation, what would happen every single time?
They wanted to support us. They
wanted to buy something. And it's like, you didn't lead with the sale. You just purely had a conversation, met someone, told them about what you're doing, and in the end of it, after a genuine conversation, they would support you. So
we learnt so much from those early days, right? Because you could just stand back and just watch these people kind of navigate over to the rail, and they touch and feel stuff, they walk off. But if you could catch them and just have that quick conversation and have a bit of depth to the conversation, that was when they just wanted to support you and buy something, because they really enjoyed that connection. And I think that carries over to online as well, right? It's like you kind of neglect that, but at the end of the day, you need to build that trust even through your marketing funnel. You can't just just jump in the deep end and expect someone to like buy something straight off the bat. It's like you're warming them up, and it happens in real life and it happens online too, and that's all through very strong marketing strategies, right?
So, yeah. All right, should we move?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Creative is like, do what feels natural first and then start to experiment. Content, I don't think these days has to be overthought. It has to be simple and easy to understand.
I always think it's got to be shareable. You want to comment on it, it's got to evoke some sort of emotion. If it misses that point, then it's not going to get the engagement, and then it's not going to be delivered by the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest challenge that we're all trying to figure out, is you're almost like a psychologist and a content creator in one.
I think you do have to treat organic and paid separately now. Where sometimes paid, you're not necessarily looking to trigger their emotion, you're actually trying to sell the product. So you're trying to showcase the fit, features, function, lighting, like making sure that the product is, yes, I like that, yes, it fits me, yes, it's in stock, yes, I can afford it, it's in my price range, yes, there's reviews and trust and brand depth, you get the conversion. But on organic socials, like Sean said, it's more, how do we trigger an emotion?
And I think a lot of people fall victim to probably trying to do that a bit back to front, where they're trying to sell through their organic. But it's like, that should just be the emotional stuff behind the scenes, a bit raw, unfiltered. The paid stuff is more trying to sell. But then the organic stuff, like posts that hit organically, can be turned into a paid piece of content and sit somewhere within your marketing funnel, and it converts quite well too. But I don't think it works the other way around, where like a paid ad that cranks won't
do well on social. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, it comes back to my philosophy, where it's like, you genuinely have to test what works for you. Because Sean brought up an important point there, where it's like a really good social, a really good organic piece of content on socials should perform well on paid, but it's not always the case. Like, for privacy, we've seen more than once that it doesn't work that way, where it's like not every good piece of organic content will work when you put paid spend behind it, but it can and it should. So test it, but if it doesn't, kill it. What we've got now, like some of my guys come to Freo, find a cool spot, Free and Karim, run through product, and we'll actually get them to tell you exactly what they're doing, the thought process, the intention behind what they're doing. Is Karim does this weekly, so he's an expert at it. Look at him sweating. It's like, oh shit.
What's the plan like before you come out for a shoot? Do you know what you're shooting? How in depth do you know?
So usually we know what products we want to shoot, what type of content we want to get, because we've done lots of testing over the past, years, but we've seen, especially this year, different content styles work that haven't usually worked, or that we haven't tested before, and then we did one test and then it worked really well, so then every week now we shoot that same content style. So coming out to these shoots, I know already from our history what works. And lately, for example, it's been faceless content, so I know that we're going to come here, we're going to shoot our sweatpants, our zip hoodies, and we're going to get that faceless content. And for example, either last week or the week before, we did the same thing, and we ran some of those ads, those faceless content ads, with jazz music in the back, with a comment from female at the top, and that structure, that style works amazingly at the moment. So that's the exact content style that we've come out here to shoot today, to get some more just of different products.
Yeah, so you just look at what's working and then repeat the process.
What's working, repeat it. If we, like on the day, if we have a new idea to test, then we'll just shoot it. Doesn't take long. Test it in the account. If it works, it works. If not, then move on to the next one.
It's fair to say, if you're out now doing paid content, your thought process straight away is like, okay, I'm putting this video together, I'm recording myself, I'm starting to think hook, meet, call to action, and you've got like, they're the 3 points you're trying to hit.
Yeah, especially if it's a video. Obviously, if it's a photo, then it's trying to make whatever you're photographing look as clean as possible and as, I guess, inviting or as engaging as possible. Shoppable. Like, you want someone to look at it and think like, I want that. Like, I need that. The way it look, the shape of it, the texture, the whatever.
Yeah, and this is back to what Sean was just saying. It's like, you might not think it, you might just look at that and go, oh yeah, cool, but that's triggered an emotion.
Yeah.
It's, I either want to look like that, I want to feel like that, I want to step into that world, the product's going to get me there. So that's how you're solving the problem for the customer.
Nice.
Alright, where you boys be? You can go chase your girls down.
I better shoot off.
Alright, bro. See you in a bit. Watch it.
See you, bro.
The key takeaways for community and networking, you got two sides of it that you got to focus on. Founder side and then the brand side. The brand side, we're usually going to find it's going to take a little longer to develop. Start as local as possible and build out from there. Founder side as well, getting started, take your time, don't force feed it. That's community and networking, it's base level. The other thing that we didn't even mention,
another key little takeaway from the founder networking side of things. Use founder networking as a routine thing, not as it happens thing. So what I mean by that is, don't just go to networking events as they come up, but actually look at networking as something that you should be doing routinely, whether it's weekly or monthly. And then from a marketing perspective, you want to look at marketing in two sides: your paid and your organic. They both are to be treated differently. From the two sides, you're gonna have to test a bunch of things, find what works in each, and double down on them. And don't get disheartened when sometimes they don't carry over, because it's not always the case that an organic piece of content is gonna work well on paid, and vice versa.
The nose I'm head on two. The girl wanna be like you. Bad one don't weigh no line. She don't know nothing about you. Bands need more than a few. They wanna guess my next move. Work in silence, speak the truth. Pretty vibe and board the view.
Creative versus operator.
Yeah.
Nav spoke about that yesterday.
Yeah. Difference between creator and operator.
Yeah, like
and you
his
kinda
business partner.
Yeah, and that's the thing, where it's like you usually see when there's a business partner,
Yeah.
you need to be polar opposites, which in their case they were. One's the operator and one's the creative.
Yeah.
But the tricky thing is when it's a solo founder,
How do you do it? Yeah.
Right? The question from the viewer is going to be, oh, but I'm just getting started. I don't have the funds to pay someone to be the operator or pay for advice. I think in that instance, when you're the solo founder, you want to take more of the creative approach and you need help with the operations. I think the best advice is, well, from my perspective, you can't be taught how to be an artist, right? The creative side is something that you're like born with, that's your skill, but you can learn the business side, the operation side. So one, I think the good options are like finding a mentor, right? Finding a mentor or paying for advice. Yes, if you're getting started and you can't afford it, $15 on Amazon will buy you one of the best business books on this topic, which is the E-Myth. And that book goes into depth about the creator and operator side of the business. So take the 6 hours it's going to take, or a few hours it's going to take to read that book, and it's going to frame it perfectly for you. You can't teach the creative side. You either have it or you don't, but you can learn the operation side. So think about that. A lot of people think, okay, it's either business partner or solo, like solopreneur, or go in with a business partner. If you do go the business partner route, this is where you need to both understand who's the creative and who's the operator. If you both want to be the creative, I know way too many brands and businesses that have both been the same role, both the operator or both the creative, and it'll fail every time. So I think the biggest piece of advice there is know who's going to play which role, and then put the boundaries in place that you don't step into the other person's role. Yeah, year 1 to 2, try and keep everything in-house. The first thing you should outsource, not outsource, but you should bring in help, like make your first hire to pack orders. And you as the founder, the solo founder, needs to be focusing on what you do best, which is probably going to be product design and marketing, right? So social media content, ads content if you are bringing in paid after the 6-figure point, and all the product design. That's where you as a founder need to focus all your attention. And my advice, hire in help to do pick packing of orders, all the admin, the bookkeeping, all that boring shit that you don't want to be doing. First agency you should outsource to is emails, retention agency. When you get to the paid point, try keep ads in-house as best as possible. And the reason we do that, again, we'll do a whole video on this, but if you can have your media buyer and the head of creative as close together as possible, the closer their relationship, the better your paid is going to work.
A lot of sauce there.
Yeah, I think that summed up quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess actionable tips for the guys that are getting started from day one: read that book, The E-Myth. I'm sure Danny's going to pop it up on the screen somewhere. It's probably like $20 on Amazon, if that. And that goes into the mindset that the creator has to have and the operator has to have. It is for a solo business owner. So yeah. We're in Perth right now, and we're gonna take you through to our retail store. So yeah, let's come have a look. the next important point is like focusing on one, product quality, but also product to market fit. Like whenever you're starting a brand, I think a lot of brand owners try and force a product without understanding if there is an actual market for it, and that's like one of the big early problems they're going to face, and we've spoken about that before. But product quality is more important, right? Because one thing you're going to experience if you try and go super cheap, cut a lot of corners, go for the cheapest fabrics, the cheapest constructions, is that no one's going to come back. And the biggest thing about building a brand is the retention aspect. So we're at the store now. Pre's in again. Go. Good morning. Hello, are you good, man? How are you?
It was good, bro.
Welcome back
How are you?
to the good. Welcome back to the video, man. You're back again. Yeah, let's go.
No sleep, I gotta get euro, dollar and pound every day of the week. I'm still 10 toes in the trenches, I had to find my feet.
You see it all the time, hey? Like customers that come in store and like as soon as they feel the product, it's a completely different experience, right?
Yeah. Like they can't justify the price until they try it on.
So they touch it.
Yeah, until they touch and feel it and they're like, oh, I can see where the quality's at.
Facts. Because that's what we've been trying to say. Like, well, I guess the purpose of having the store, like physical location for people to actually feel the product and experience it in real life. Because I think like one of the things everyone's gonna have the problem when they get started is that, especially if you're a premium priced product, consumers are just gonna like question whether the quality is there and whether it's worth the price point. So like off the bat, like fair play, not everyone from day one is gonna be able to afford a store, and it's probably the wrong thing to do from day one. But the right thing to do is like you have to show up in real life somewhere, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is, so it's like for someone getting started, what should they do? They can't afford a store, there's no leases available in their city. What are they doing?
You should go to like a community pop-up for like fashion, something like that. Like you were saying, Fashion Thrift Society.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where you can rent out a little space and just show people your clothes. Just talk to people really.
That's it. I think there's an R&D element as well, where it's like when you first start, you need to have a bit of feedback. And you don't want the feedback from friends and family. Like I think that's the worst feedback you can get, respectfully.
Yeah.
It needs to be from the market.
Like just strangers that don't know you. Like the feeling you get when people actually mess with your product.
That's it.
Then you know you've got something good.
For like a solid tip for guys that are at the stage that they do want to go into retail and have a physical location, from my experience, the best thing that you can do is actually be in the store for as long as possible from the start, right? So I did about, like it was probably close to 6 months, which might be a bit extreme, but the reason that I stayed in for so long and what kept me here was I learned so much about our customers every single day that I didn't know prior to having the retail location. I just thought we had this online customer base that we were trying to market to. Once you open a retail location, you open those doors, you are now servicing customers beyond what you thought your customer base was. It's gonna allow you to like stretch your market a little bit wider, where certain customers are gonna wear your products in different settings, different locations. Like you're solving a different customer problem from what you might think or expect. And that was the biggest thing that we learned when we opened our store. So yeah, that's the tip for founders. Like be in the store, you're gonna understand the product and market fit a lot better. And it's gonna help design decisions going forward. On the online world, like obviously we do a bunch of Instagram lives where we ask customers feedback and ask for their preference. But I think in person, especially when you build up a retail customer base, like that's your strongest customer, like the person that's willing to show up to your store and shop with you. Their taste preferences and their suggestions are probably at the top of your priority list.
This is one of our new jackets, the herringbone jacket. This is one of our more expensive products. It's at $230. And a lot of people, if they see that online, who don't know what the herringbone material is and really like care for that kind of stuff, they probably won't purchase it. But when you come in store and you really feel the item of clothing and you get a quality feel and you're like, damn, you know what, I can justify this. And a lot of brands that would be charging $400, $500 for these, but we're only charging $230, and you can really see the quality when you come in store and feel it. And it's really important to give that experience to the customer.
You had that the other day, hey, with the guy that compared it to the Dickies jacket.
Yeah, like someone came in and they were like, oh, I have a similar jacket. they were like, and I was like, yeah, no, but try it on. He tried it on, and then as soon as he tried it on, he was like, yeah, I'm buying this. That just shows how much quality is important.
Yeah. From the business side of the business, it like a brand does not work unless you have retention.
Yeah.
Right? So if someone comes in and purchases something for the first time and it doesn't last in the wash, it doesn't hold up, it doesn't meet their like expectations from what they paid from it, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
So you probably see it often in store, customers coming back for other products and that like retention piece.
Yeah, you're right. People come back, they literally every time they come back, they're like, oh, I love your t-shirts, I put all my friends on it, and then they bring people in, and it's just like, if you really present a quality product, yes, the price might be a bit expensive, but you're basically guaranteed for people to come back in a way.
Yeah,
especially if it lasts a long time.
Yeah. And I know like established brand owners would know what that's like. They may have had lower quality products in the past. Maybe they like improved their supply chain, quality increased, and then they see like what that's worth to the brand and they see the impact of that.
Yeah.
But for guys that are starting and questioning, okay, I can cut this corner, I can use a cheaper fabric, I can cut a wash process out, like cutting corners to try and get the price of the product down. I think in the early days, people are like, oh, it's, you know, if it's cheaper, I can sell it for more, and that type of thought process, but it's kind of counterproductive long term.
Yeah.
Product before anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not groundbreaking stuff, it's just reality, right? Product before anything. Thanks so much for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, bang bang chicken.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Thank you. Is that an SF90? Yeah, it is. Brand identity storytelling part of things, I have like a controversial take on it.
Really?
Yeah, but it's more so like for the fashion side of things. Like brand identity and storytelling, like all of the guys that you listen to on YouTube and like business leaders, they'll tell you that it's extremely important, which it is. The reality of that in fashion is from day one, no one gives a fuck. No one cares. Right? So it's like you can try to do this whole storytelling approach and try and convince people through storytelling how you're different. Genuinely, no one cares. Like it, I think the reality is in fashion is the brand growth and the brand journey becomes the storytelling and the brand identity more than anything else.
When did you realize that?
Probably like 3 years in.
3 years in?
Yeah, probably like 3 years in.
Did you focus heavily on trying to get your brand story right in those first 3 years?
Yeah, and then now it means nothing because you're trying to do that for this tiny market, no one even knows you yet, and you're focusing all this time on like, well, everything you need to do has to mean something and it has to be all this no one cares. It's like focus on the product, go to the like product to market fit route first, get people to care about the product and build the brand around that. I think that's the most important thing. Build the brand world and the brand identity. Your brand journey is going to be the storytelling. Don't try and focus around like people get caught up on like the name has to mean something super important, which is funny because for us it actually is, and we'll get into that in a future video. But if I was trying to push that narrative back then, no one cares. 7 years down the track, now if I tell that story, it means something. Yeah. So yeah, I think people get way too caught up in the early days in fashion about like this meaning, this purpose. No one cares. Genuinely, no one cares. The longer you stay in the game, the more customers that you have, the more marketing that you do, that builds into it. The more like the founder-led stuff that you do, this all builds into the brand world. The retail stores that you build, those experiences, the pop-ups that brands might do. If you go and do an international pop-up, that builds into the brand story, helps you create identity. If you shoot international, like at crazy locations around, that just builds into it all.
Yeah.
When you hear, like as a founder, someone like just getting started, when you hear, oh, storytelling, you have to storytell, don't think of that as like, you have to create this story. It's being intentional around when you do marketing, when you do content, understand the part of storytelling is like triggering an emotion and storytell like that way. Don't create this fairy tale or this narrative. It's not about that. It's about triggering an emotion in the content. Yeah, I think people get that so twisted, and we did for ages. We struggled with that. The other thing is like I'm so willing to adapt and pivot now, and I think it makes a lot of sense for us because we're in basics. We can have like arms that come off that core product line, right? You can go into active, you can go into resort, you can go into tailored menswear, you can go into elevated, you can do all that. But for brands, I think that pigeonhole themselves into a niche, it becomes challenging when things change around them, and they then become too afraid to pivot because they're so tied into this brand identity that this is us. They can't pivot, they don't last. That's one of the 5 components, right? But do not get caught up on that component. Understand what it means, rather than it's like, that's the one where it's like, don't get sold the lie in the early days that your brand identity is absolutely fixed to something. It can be the case that the journey will build the brand identity. When you're extremely strict on what you're not, right, and who you are, and it's like really niche sub-communities, you have a very strong brand identity. But it's like you only cater to this small sub-niche of people, and that's okay. That is great. But it's like in business, there's the phrase TAM, your total addressable market. You just have to understand that that might be extremely small in your area. So it's going to make it very difficult to think. So it's just understanding what type of brand you are, like we spoke about yesterday.
I think if you're stuck on what your brand identity should be, then that's a sign that you should just focus on what products you want to make and make them really well.
Yeah. Danny said it better than I did. I actually love to hear from viewers. Comment down below if that is, like, if you're considering starting a brand and that's the thing that's stopping you, like the brand identity side of things, where you're unsure of where you sit, how you want the brand to look, who you want to speak to, who your like ideal community is. If that's something that's holding you up, or is it like product, content, the fear of the unknown? All right, so in summary, like those 5 critical things that were pretty pivotal for me in growing from the 0 to 8 million. The marketing, first and foremost, marketing both organic and paid, and understanding the difference between the two and when to implement them. Product quality and product to market fit. If that's not in check, forget the marketing side of things. The creative versus the operator's mindset. Absolutely critical from day one, especially if you're a solo founder. And if you're a dual founder, understand who's going to take which role. The community and networking, that one's super important. Remember, there's a difference between the founder community and network and the brand community and network. And finally, the brand identity and storytelling, which we just went over. Understand its importance. Don't overcomplicate it from the start, and just remember that your brand journey is going to build out its identity and storytelling as you grow. So just remember, like I said in the last video, I'm just trying to be that guy that I wish I had back when I first started. So if you found any value or inspiration from this video, please like, subscribe, and drop any comments, because I do reply to every single one of them. Appreciate you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next.